Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Super Action Statue JoJo's Bizarre Adventure NORIAKI KAKYOIN, which is maybe not everyone's favorite character or favorite figure. It's not great in either regard, but he's good enough. He's okay, and the figure looks good at least, so he's probably worth adding to your collection despite the flaws, but still watch the review anyway because you might see something that you like a lot or something that turns you off altogether, because it's definitely kind of polarizing. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 15.5 centimeters, which makes him pretty close to 6 inches. Not quite as big as some of the earlier released figures, but he does fit in line with the other figures from his particular part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so that is okay. And not surprisingly, it's aesthetically really well done. Not anywhere near as far stylized as the earlier releases as well, so that's good. We have a lot less of that really hourglass shape with the skinny torso and huge shoulders. A lot more accurate to the anime. That's pretty good. I like that. Still loaded with paint, just tons and tons of paint. We have shading, we have highlights. Everything is painted. It's not just molded plastic, so that's really good. They did paint obviously the little details in there nicely. The transition from the gray on the inside to the green on the outside is really well done. Gray collar on there is nice. The shoes are painted well. The hands are painted well. The face is pretty clean. I like it. The shading in the hair. Painted the earrings. All in all, a really well put together figure. Aesthetically speaking, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty strong release. It's not a whole lot to do here, but they did nail it. Just look at that shading. It's so nice. Very nicely done. Looks like it came right out of the anime, so I like that. As far as accessories go, we have the neutral head, normal head, and then we also have one with the sunglasses on, which makes sense for story purposes. We have 2 fist hands which come on him in the package, 3 different pointing finger hands, 2 karate chop hands, style pose hand, and then 2 more style pose hands in more of a neutral type pose. And then lastly, we have his display stand, which is still in the package, so I'm not going to bother taking it out because I don't need him in any crazy poses, but it is starting to yellow. I noticed some of these are yellow and some of them are not. I don't know why, because they're all still sealed in the package. Even when the figures were used, the display stands that I purchased, the figures I purchased used still came with sealed up display stands, so that would make me think it's not from the sun. I don't know why they're turning yellow, because some are and some aren't. So be aware, they may be yellow and they may not, depending on who knows what. So accessory wise, not bad, not a ton. It's a good amount. I'll give them an 8 out of 10. Lots of hands, alternate head, display stand. What else do you need? That's pretty good. As far as the articulation goes, the head is on a ball peg, and the neck is on a ball peg. A little bit more basic, and not all that functional. Now the hair does stick down pretty far, so that will, of course, impede posability. And normally ball pegs are good, but you need to do it right. And this is more of a basic type of double single ball peg situation, which is good enough. It's not good for dynamic poses, but it's good for subtle posability for more neutral poses. So you should be okay. Nothing crazy, but it'll be good enough. Now for the shoulders, they did a nice thing. This cuff piece right here, the shoulder piece, actually rotates. And this is close to what I've been saying they need to do for Dragon Ball figure arts. Instead of having that floating shoulder piece connected to the body, let it rotate. That's all you need to do. It's really nicely done. And this guy's shoulder is a good example of how to do their shoulders, and also a bad example. It's just your standard ball hinge. Now, they did it like they do the Street Fighter figure arts, where the ball hinge is inside the shoulder cap, and that destroys the posability. It looks good, but you can't pose it very well. So if you just use a regular shoulder hinge and have this swivel piece, you have really good posability, and it'll still look good for the Dragon Ball gis. But it's very nicely done here for the most part, and you still get almost horizontal, sort of, kind of, if you justify it in your head. You do get a bicep swivel out of that, although I have never been a fan of this type of outer shoulder piece. I've always said that, so they can definitely touch that up and it'll be great. Double jointed elbow, you get 2 ball hinges which are connected, and so technically it'll rotate at either one. Probably just going to use the top one though, so that's okay. Little ball hinge for the wrists. Upper torso joint is a single ball peg, which actually gets really good range, surprisingly good range. Lower torso joint is just a swivel. You can't really get too much out of it, but it does help posability, so that's nice. You just get a swivel there. This is a floating piece, though it barely moves, and it doesn't hinge at all. So the hips, which are apparently on ball pegs, it looks like, with a thigh swivel, they're incredibly limited. You can't really move the hips at all. Very, very limited. That's a problem. Double jointed knees, you have a ball hinge at the top, single hinge, regular hinge at the bottom, so you can rotate it at the top if you want. Really no purpose though, and you can't really bend the knees more than that anyway, so that's kind of lame, and they're still very loose. Ankles are on a big ball hinge and get pretty decent range thanks to the flare of the pants and the ankle being just the skin color, which is a nice clever way to do that. So that's pretty good, I guess. It's good enough. And then you can rotate the ankle around to get a really nice ankle rocker, so that's good. And then you get a toe hinge, which is useless, but it is there. So this guy is definitely not going to be one for dynamic poses. That is for sure. You will be able to put him in some more subtle, nice looking poses, but he's not going to be doing any martial arts or anything like that. But that's okay, because most of the stand users don't really move around all that much anyway. So they'll be okay. I mean, it's limited articulation, no doubt. 6 out of 10 for the articulation. Does it matter that much for the character? Probably not, but that's up to you. It's only a 6 out of 10, so bear that in mind when purchasing the figure. So time for the final verdict. If it was a Spider-Man figure that couldn't pose, sure, the articulation would make more of a difference, but it's not. So would I prefer it to be posable? Yes. Is it as necessary? Definitely not. So I can weight the final verdict toward the accessories and aesthetic, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. It would be an 8 if the articulation didn't suck. But 7 out of 10 is still a pretty good score, and he does look really good, and he'll look nice on a shelf, and he comes with a lot of accessories. So there's my justification. You guys can let me know what you think and how you value posability. Is it on a per character basis? Is it on a, they always need to be good posability? You know, what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up just about every single day, and I've got thousands of videos already on the channel for you to check out. So make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.